Hello guys, so today we're going to be talking about this awesome programming language called JavaScript. We're going to start a new course on it. So, what can JavaScript do? It's right here on a web page. Okay guys, so JavaScript is used for web development. Now, web development also include like HTML and CSS, but this is mostly like JavaScript, which helps with the behavior. Yeah, and it has to be a programming language to talk about behavior. Now, this is one of the things that JavaScript can do. And really, all you need is just a few lines of code for this. So in HTML, we can just make an input field. And there we can write in anything. And then we can make a button that'll show us the exact same number we typed in. Sounds easy, right? Well, then let's get started. Okay, so we need some sort of text editor. I like VS Code, really. Yeah, so to download VS Code, you just go to, just go to Chrome and just see VS Code download in the Google search and blah, 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 installations will be completed. Yeah, so go to the website called code.visualstudiocode.com and just download it there. Download for Windows. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing we're going to be talking about JavaScript here is variables. And also the syntax, because you can't do any variables without syntax. Okay guys, so first of all, variables are the most fundamental parts of JavaScript and any other programming language. So I'll just type in a variable right now. Don't worry if you don't understand. Oops. Oopsie. Also, don't forget to save it as a JavaScript file. So let's just say blank, okay? Yeah, let's just put this as blank. The JavaScript. And it's not going to be a plain text because it's going to be in all files. So save it as a JavaScript file by putting in the name of the file, of the JavaScript file, and then just putting in .js. And then you just change the plain text thingy to the all files. Now, but for real, this is not the first thing you should be doing. Actually, it's not the first thing. For real, you have to create a HTML file. So now let's create another new file and save this as a HTML. And let's just name this index.html. Let's see if this also has an all files with the .html, because that just tells it that it's like that. Okay. So now this is the index.html. Now let's just autocomplete the HTML. And don't worry if you don't know about HTML, because you can watch it in my other HTML basics video. Oops. There. So now, just put an exclamation mark, put an exclamation mark, and then just press tab. It'll get it auto-completed. Now, don't worry about all this stuff, okay? Yeah, because it's already explained in my other HTML video. Again, you can see it. It should come in a card right now. Anyway, so now, how do you do JavaScript in HTML? Because you have to do JavaScript in HTML though. Well, that's actually pretty easy. All you have to do is just make a script tag. Script tags, they're part of HTML syntax. And just close it. Yeah. Script. Okay. Whoops. There. Now, let's just script is the way of you start it. Creating variables, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now for real, you're not gonna be like using these script tags because you're usually gonna just like connect this to another JavaScript file. So to do that, all you have to do is just create source equal to the JavaScript name. Now it's time for the JavaScript file to open. Open file, blank. So now this is blank.js. So you have to write blank.js here. Blank.js. And don't worry about this underline. It just because that just means that there is one thing. Anyway, now that we have like done this, let's go to the JavaScript file. Now, there's this thingy called the console. You can find it on any website. And really, it's meant for JavaScript. Yeah, so JavaScript. Yeah, bonkers. Anyway, so you can type in HTML code here. It doesn't really exactly. It doesn't have to like affect the web page, but it does affect the page. It may not like affect the content, but it will. If you just see, Okay, so writing stuff in the console is pretty much like doing JavaScript on the web page you're on itself. I know, that's great, right? Told you. Anyway, so now, what is the syntax of assigning a variable? Okay, yeah. So first of all, the syntax of assigning a variable is Okay, yeah. So now let's just open index.html because this is gonna be pointless. Index.html. There. Now Chrome document. Now Ctrl Shift I to open the console. And if you don't see the console, then just go to the console. And if you don't, then like this, then just open these arrows and maybe elements, then just go to this arrow and press console. Okay, so now with the console you can do many things. Let's say an alert, and let's say yo. Ta-da! You have a Windows alert that says yo. And I'll just, Okay, yeah. Now don't worry if you don't understand the syntax, okay? I'm just showing you what JavaScript can do. Anyway, so now let's jump to it. So, the syntax for assigning a variable is you have to use the keyword var. But also, remember something. var has some mistakes, so it's better you use the keyword let. Now, JavaScript is dynamically typed, which means that you can change variables. And if you don't want the variable to change, then use this keyword called const and then assign it. Now, after the var, let, or const, put in the variable name and then put in equal sign. Next, you put in whatever value. And remember, if there is any sort of character, unless it's a number itself, use these double quotes or single quotes. It accepts both. So yeah, I just use single quotes, and I'll just type in blah blah blah, and you can put in a number, but if you want it to be a number type, then just remove them. So okay, now var m equal to 9. Now you don't exactly need this colon, but it's proper syntax though. And don't worry if you got this undefined thing, okay? It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Now, what if you don't assign a variable to its value? Then that's called an undefined type. Now, first of all, what are the data types? So now let's just come to the JavaScript file. So, and let's just type in whatever blah 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 we did there. Whoops. Also, don't use like reserved keywords, okay? And yeah, some reserved keywords like will be highlighted and you can know. But if they're not highlighted, then they look blue like this. Now, to make a variable undefined, you can also assign it to the reserved keyword undefined. Really, it's just easier to do that. Now, how do you add a comment? To add a comment, you just do this. Yeah. So you just put in 2 forward slashes, 2 front slashes, and then you just write in blah, 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 whatever. And you can't exactly close it. Now, what if you want to put in a multi-line comment? A multi-line comment. Then you basically use then you basically use this symbol thingy, So you basically use this, the front slash and the star, to start it. And then you use a star and then again the same slash to end it. No. Like this. Now, so to start it, you have to use this, and to end it, you have got to use this. Now, you could type in whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you're only making a single line comment. Now, let's just put in undefined. Yeah. Okay. So now it can also be a string, which is a list of characters. Yeah. And to put a string, you just gotta put in these quotes, double or single, and then you just put in blah, 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 whatever. And it doesn't matter whatever you put, unless they're the same kind of quotes to tell that it's a string. Yeah, or else. Now, one way you can do it is actually to use double quotes, and then you can do single quotes, since the double quotes are the ones that started the string. And if you want to use double quotes in it, then just use single quotes to start it, and then you can use double quotes because it's not the same quote that you started it with. Now, how can you print this out? Now, for beginners, now that we have the console, to print something on the console, we have to use this console.log function. Now, don't worry, we'll be talking about functions later on in this JavaScript course. So you do console.log and print in whatever variable or data type. So DDT, ctrl save, fi. Oops. Okay, now I don't know what's happening, but it's supposed to work. Okay, so yeah, so I didn't save it, it looks like. So anyway, so it prints DDT because that's what you put in the console.log. Now you can put in a bunch of other console.log. Like let's say m, which is the variable we just defined, and ctrl save. Ta-da! Okay. So yeah, so that's it about variables in JavaScript and also the syntax. So bye-bye guys, see you next time. And also, don't forget my HTML course.